The base set was released on January 9th, 1999, and was the first set to be officially released in the Pokemon trading card game. What's interesting about this product was that it wasn't the first product released for the game, seeing as the 2-player starter set had been released prior to select hobby stores across the United States. Notable Pokemon in this set include massive Stage 2 Pokemon like Damage Swap Alakazam, Energy Trance Venusaur, Rain Dance Blastoise, and the ever-elusive Energy Burn Charizard, one of the most expensive cards on the secondhand market, as well as large basic Pokemon like Chansey and Haymaker staples Hitmonchan and Electabuzz. This set also introduced some of the most broken trainer cards in the game, the most dangerous of them being Energy Removal and Super Energy Removal. In this series, both Celios Network and myself will be deciphering the past of the Pokemon TCG. Every episode will take a deep dive into the game's past formats, the great, the absolute terrible, and everything in between. Prepare yourself because this is going to be a wild ride. Welcome to the history of the Pokemon trading card game. How's it going, everybody? Chaotic Meatball here with Beastcoast Pokemon, and today we're bringing you a new series. I'm sure that intro sounded a lot like Simo's History of Yu-Gi-Oh!, and you'd be right to think so. His series had inspired myself and my co-host to go play through the game's history and unearth the strategies that both made the game really fun to play, but also terrorized some formats. Today's episode, we are going to be starting out with the base set, and I've got the wheel in front of me, and we have 6 decks to choose from, so I'm going to describe 3 of them, and then I'm going to leave the other 3 for my co-host. First up, Alakazam Gyarados is a strategy that consists of Damage Swap Alakazam, who can, as many times per turn as you'd like, move damage counters around your Pokemon, both active and bench, just as long as it doesn't knock out that Pokemon. This ability makes it super hard for your opponent to take prize cards, which are obtained by knocking out Pokemon that your opponent controls. Matching that is a Stage 1 100 HP Gyarados that can do 50 damage for 3 energy and Dragon Rage. This is pretty good, and the second attack is nichely used as well, Bubble Beam 4 energy, 40 damage, and paralysis on a coin flip. Mostly you'll be just turboing out this monster and use Alakazam to keep that damage off of Gyarados, and using Chansey, a basic Pokemon with 120 HP. The second deck I'm going to be going over here is Haymaker. Now, this isn't fully formed as we're still missing Scyther from Jungle, which is the next set, but we're still able to turbo out relatively large basics like Hitmonchan, who can hit for 20 damage with 1 energy, or Electabuzz, who can do the same for 10 damage and paralysis on a coin flip. You can tell that paralysis is probably one of the best special conditions in this game. This deck really takes advantage of how fast we can get our monsters to attack, and it doesn't have to worry about the likes of the big bad Energy Removal, which is one of the biggest tempo cards in this current format. After all, we only get 1 energy attachment per turn, and being able to use an attack for 1 energy as opposed to 3 like Gyarados, we're going to be able to hit for a lot more damage a lot quicker. Though there are some Pokemon that have resistances to fighting that make this a little bit harder to go against. Third, we've got Rain Dance, a Blastoise and Gyarados-centric deck, which you already know what Gyarados does, but Blastoise has an ability, namely Rain Dance, hence why the deck is called that can let us attach as many Water-type energy cards to our Pokemon as many times as we'd like during our turn. Bypassing the restriction on 1 energy per turn? Yeah, I bet you can figure out what the best deck in the format is. But I'm going to leave the other 3 decks for my co-host. Let's give this a nice good old spin. And let's see what we get here. Venusaur. Now, I like this deck, but I don't think it's good enough to do. We both get 2 spins for this first episode, so I'm going to give myself a respin. I just hope I do not land Buzz Zapdos. Oh, thank you.
Hey, I'm Luke from Celios Network. Today we will be playing base set Pokemon TCG decks strictly with only base set Pokemon cards. I'm super excited. I started playing as a kid around the time base set 2 Jungle were coming out in North America, so this really brings me back. I love exploring retro decks in older formats, so I'm super excited for the theme of this video series. Here we have Buzzapdos. It is a combination of the Electrode with the Buzzap power. It allows you to knock itself out and attach it to one of your Pokemon, and it counts as 2 energy. And then we have Zapdos, which is the main attacker of the deck. It has Thunder that does 60 damage, flip a coin. If tails, it damages itself for 30, and Thunderbolt, which does 100, a huge amount of damage, and discard all energy cards attached to Zapdos to use the attack, so it will be nice to have Electrode accelerating energy to Zapdos. So next we have Machamp Alakazam. Machamp has the Pokemon power Strikes Back. Whenever it is damaged, it does 10 damage to the attacking Pokemon, even if Machamp would be knocked out. Now 100 HP is typically going to survive most hits that are not dealing weakness to Machamp. And so we have Alakazam. Alakazam has the Pokemon power Damage Swap. You can move around your damage counters on your own board as much as you like. So we can move damage off of Machamp over to a Pokemon like Chansey with 120 HP. And here we have what I would definitely call a rogue creation. I'm not sure if this was a deck people actually played back in the day, but this is Venusaur Charizard. So an unlikely combination, but Charizard has the power Energy Burn. You can make all energy attached to Charizard count as fire energy, and Venusaur can move your grass energy around whenever you like. So we're only playing grass energy and 4 double colorless in the deck because Charizard can attack for a double colorless plus 2 grass energy, and Fire Spin does 100. So you do 100 and then you discard that double colorless energy from it as the additional cost of the attack to discard 2 energy, and you can just reattach another double colorless next turn. I'm going to spin the wheel to see what deck I am playing, and it is going to be Buzzapdos. All right, yeah, that's a good one. I'm really happy with that. Really didn't want to hit Venusaur. Yeah, Buzzapdos is great, and I'm really excited to play this deck.
So, this is the deck that we're going to be bringing to today's best of 3, and that's base set Haymaker. I just want to give credit to Jay Clax's vlog on all things Pokemon TCG. I took this list from him, and to be honest, I'm very excited to give this a whirl. Starting off, we've got 3 copies of Electabuzz. I said during the wheel segment, 1 energy, 10 damage, and paralysis on a coin flip, but we also have another attack, 30 damage for 2 energy, but on a coin flip, you can either do 10 more damage to the opponent or 10 damage to yourself. So it's a little bit of a luck of the draw, but it does usually do a pretty good amount of damage. Our second attacker here is Hitmonchan, 1 energy for 20 damage, 3 energy for 40 damage. Fantastic for letting us fight the energy removal tempo game. For our techs, we've got 2 Farfetch'd. This is another basic Pokemon that can do 30 damage for 1 energy, but that attack has some massive drawbacks, as you can only use it once while it's in the active, and if you flip tails, it just does nothing. But we're playing double colorless energy to help charge Pot Smash, as this provides 2 energy of the colorless type rather than just 1, which allows us to get to that 30 damage move relatively quickly. This is a great attacker against Hitmonchan in the mirror, as well as the potential Machamp that may pop up. 3 more techs here, one of which is the one of Diglett, 1 energy, 10 damage, 2 energy, 30 damage, another fantastic counter to Electabuzz in the mirror, as well as Buzzapdos. Doduo, which is another less risky option to take care of Haymaker mirrors, as well as Machamp. And last but not least, Chansey. This thing just... it can sit on the board and absorb damage, and you can just scoop it up whenever you need to, assuming you have access to Scoop Up. As for trainer cards, we have 4 Bill, literally just Pot of Greed, and 4 Professor Oak. Discard your hand and draw 7. I probably should preface, this game is not about card advantage. This game is about placing your resources and not just spitting them all out on one turn. If you're not careful, you will deck out, and you will deck out often. You cannot abuse Professor Oak. For the last 4 of, I've got energy removal. Any deck that isn't Haymaker is going to get hosed by this card, and even against the Haymaker mirror, this card will be able to deny them their higher energy, higher yielding attacks, so that'll keep us being able to win, unless they also trade energy removals, in which case we just have to win the war of attrition. It also helps that we have the 3-of Item Finder. Discard 2 other cards from your hand and put a trainer card from the discard pile into your hand, meaning we can reuse stuff like Bill, like Professor Oak, like our energy removal, and this is just insanely broken. This lets us essentially have 5 to 7 copies of trainers in our deck, and it will help immensely. For other 3-ofs, we've got Energy Retrieval, pitch a card from your hand, add back 2 basic energies from your discard, pretty self-explanatory, as well as 3 Scoop Up. This lets you choose one of your own Pokemon and return the basic Pokemon to your hand, and since we're not playing any evolutions, we're only going to be losing energy, which of course can be grabbed back with Energy Retrieval. The last 3-of we've got is Gust of Wind. This lets us forcibly switch our opponent's active Pokemon with something on their bench, disrupting plans and grabbing KOs where we normally shouldn't be able to, and it's even good for disruption, as we can abandon an opponent's stage 2 with no energy on it or a Chansey, and just go to town attaching our energy to our own Pokemon. Our last 3 trainers are 2-ofs. First up, Super Energy Removal, which is basically 2 energy removal in 1, but you have to detach one of your own energy in order to activate it. Not a bad card, but it's fantastic on turns that your opponent has not been able to find an energy removal. The other ones are Plus Power, which allow you to do 10 more damage on the turn you activate it, which is important for picking up certain KOs, as well as 2 Lasts. You ever hear of Royal Tribute on Yu-Gi-Oh!, where you have forced both players to discard all of your monsters if you have Necro Valley on the field? Well, this is worse because it doesn't require a Stadium card, and it's usable on the first turn. You can deny your opponent trainer cards after setting up when you go first, ending on last and attacking, and your opponent's basically SOL unless they're able to top deck out of it, which you just gotta be lucky. So that makes this card very sacky and not so fun to play against. Last but not least, we have our energy cards. 9 fighting energy, 7 lightning energy, and 2 double colorless energy. This is to just pay for our attacks on our Pokemon, and the only cards that we can actually run more than 4 copies of are our basic energy. Special energy like double colorless energy can only be run up to 4 copies in a deck, so that's why we're only running 2. I feel confident that I'm going to be able to beat Celio here, so let's take the lead and get into the games.
So I'll be using Buzz Zapdos, which looks like a very simple deck since it just has Zapdos, Electro, Doduo in it, but there are so many trainer cards and a lot of things to choose between using. We have Last, which is a very disruptive card. It says you and your opponent show each other your hands, then you shuffle all the trainer cards from both of your hands into your decks. So you want to use Last after you've used all the trainers you want to use, and then use it at the end of kind of like your chain of effects to then shuffle all of your opponent's trainers if they have any into their deck. This can also be used towards the end game if you've burnt through too many cards and you need to get some more cards back into your deck so that you don't deck out. Then we have Item Finder and Computer Search. These cards are going to be pretty similar. So Item Finder, you discard 2 cards from your hand to get any trainer from your discard pile. And then Computer Search, you discard any 2 cards from your hand and search your deck for any card. So there's a lot of discarding going on and a lot of managing your resources and deciding what you will need to win the game. Professor Oak, again, is going to discard more cards, so it seems like we're just steamrolling through our deck and getting everything we need. But if you do that all willy-nilly, you're going to run out of a deck, or you're going to run out of the resources you need, like Gusts of Wind, Lightning Energy, Item Finder. You might not have enough of these left at the end of the game to actually take all 6 of your prize cards. Speaking of those cards, Gust of Wind allows us to grab one of our opponent's benched Pokemon and bring it up to the active. And Energy Removal, you choose an energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon and you just discard it. In today's modern game, this is called Crushing Hammer, and you have to flip a coin to do this effect. But back in base set, you just play down Energy Removal and discard your opponent's energy, whichever one you want. Defender reduces damage done to the Pokemon it's attached to by 20, and Plus Power makes the Pokemon it's attached to's attacks do plus 10. So there's a lot to take in with this deck, and I'm going to try to do my best to pilot it to victory in today's episode of the series.
Alright guys, it is time for the first best of 3 in this series, and Celio, I am just going to say that I hope that you rolled a good deck, because I feel like I am going to crush you if you did not.
Well, yeah, I think my deck's really good, actually. This is not a typical format for me to be playing. I play a lot of retro formats, but base set only is definitely different for me. It's probably quite different for you, too. It's not a usual one. But yeah, so I have Buzz Zapdos over here, and I think it's really, really strong. So we can just play whatever we want on the first turn here. So I'm going to take full advantage of that, and we're going to play Computer Search, which is a busted card. We're probably going to be saying that about a lot of cards in this format.
Absolutely. Like Professor Oak, discard your hand, draw 7 with no repercussions like a supporter card. There are no such things as supporter cards yet.
So I'm going to play down Zapdos.
I was really hoping you would, because I was not in the mood to see you get donked immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, the Diglett Dig plus power could have done me in. So Zapdos here is actually resistant to fighting, so that's going to be good for me. So we're just going to scoop up net this Voltorb and get Zapdos out into there. I'm going to bench the Voltorb since I definitely want to. Did I call it scoop up net? Or
yes, you did. I was starting to laugh a little bit to myself. I'm like, somebody's been playing a little bit too much standard.
Yeah.
All right, so
yeah.
Of course we're just gonna do our 1 manual energy attachment, and this hand kind of blows, but I'm gonna have to energy removal here. Of course, got to keep that tempo. Gust of Wind. I want to get this Voltorb out, and I'm gonna have to Professor Oak to see if I can. And sure enough, there it is. We're gonna go ahead and slap down the Hitmonchan and the Farfetch'd, and we're gonna remember that it applies after weakness and resistance.
Oh no! Oh, I baited you into that one.
Yeah, you did, but at the same time, I should have known.
Plus power does damage to defending Pokemon after applying weakness and resistance, adds 10 damage. Oh, and the Voltorb lives to see another day.
Can we get an F in the chat for my turn 1 misplay?
Oh, okay. So all professor's research. Professor Oak, discard your hand and draw 7 cards. A lot of cards in the current standard format are successors of these really old base set cards. Yep. So I'm getting the names mixed up a little bit.
Yeah, like Scoop Up is now Scoop Up Net.
Yep.
Professor Oak's Professor's Research with a myriad of professors on there. Energy removal is Crushing Hammer, but you know that requires a coin flip.
A coin. We're going to go ahead and attach there, and I'm going to evolve this Electrode, and since that Voltorb didn't get knocked out, I'm going to evolve into Electrode, and then actually, here's the namesake of the deck, Buzz Zap, the Pokemon power on Electrode. We're going to go ahead and knock out my Electrode, since you didn't.
And that will take my prize.
Card. Yep, and I'm going to send up Zapdos when it's knocked out, and then attach this Electrode as a double Lightning Energy to Zapdos. I still can't attack, because Zapdos needs a hefty 4 energy, but I don't think there's anything else I need this turn, and I'm just going to pass from there, and hope to get to attack next turn.
So I just drew probably one of the best cards in my deck, but first I'm going to lead with a Super Energy removal, so I can get rid of that Electrode and that Lightning Energy. I cannot risk the Zapdos coming down. And
yeah, it's busted.
Absolutely. And we're going to have to item find here. We're going to pitch 2 Hitmonchans to grab Gust of Wind so that we can throw out that Voltorb attached to our Hitmonchan. So we're going to go ahead and retreat here into Hitmonchan, and because Jab does 20 plus weakness, we're going to pick up that KO on that Voltorb there.
Yeah, so all weaknesses in this format are ×2. It doesn't actually say it on the cards. It just has the type there. It's like, oh, great. Well, what does it do? It does ×2 damage.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it kind of makes sense because that's what it is in the games. But, of course, when you see resistance -30, you'd think that it would just do half. But I guess Pokemon didn't feel like dealing with 5s.
Yeah, no division in Pokemon. Okay, so we're going to bill for 2 cards. Really great that you just slap this trainer card down and then draw 2 cards and then keep on going with your turn. We're going to attach energy to Zapdos, and we're crossing the fingers that it actually stays on Zapdos.
True.
Going to go ahead and computer search a Lightning Energy and Lass. Now, Lass is a really cool card. It's disruptive in the fact that it gets rid of your trainers in your hand and my trainers in my hand.
Absolutely, yeah. Lass...
I'm just worried about setting up right now.
Lass, I would say you can kick that L off of the beginning of it, and you would get my exact thoughts of that card.
Yeah.
That card is an asshole.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
it's definitely brutal.
You did not cross your fingers hard enough because I have an energy removal.
Oh, man. And no coin flip on it feels so bad. You're just like, oh, see that energy? Yep, gonna remove it.
We're gonna have to power up the special punch because we cannot hit you for any damage if we don't, so.
Yeah, your jabs are doing negative 10 damage to me. If only it healed my Zapdos.
That would be funny. That would be the funniest mechanic I've ever seen in a card game. Oh, your damage is in the negatives? Well, you were stupid enough to attack, so here's some health.
We're going to item finder for Professor Oak.
Deck size getting a little thin there, buddy.
Yeah, we're already down to 23 cards in the deck, and we might be going lower. I didn't draw into any energy, and I really need to get an energy down for the turn. I think what we'll do is we'll item finder away Professor Oak and Pokemon Trader for... Oh, I don't have energy retrieval in my discard because I didn't use it. Okay, we're misplaying. Oh, no, wait, that was the plan. The plan, hold on, no misplays, folks. The plan was item finder for computer search, and now computer search away Pokemon Trainer and Zapdos for energy. And not energy retrieval, because I don't have enough cards that I want to discard to get energy back. So we're just going to get the raw energy and attach it to Zapdos. That's the plan. There we go.
There you go.
And I cannot risk you knocking out this Electrode before it becomes an energy card. So we're just going to bazap on over to Zapdos. Give you another prize card.
Yeah, the fact that it counts as a prize is probably what puts this deck behind some of the other top performers in the format.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, but I have super energy removal, so say goodbye.
No!
I also top decked
removal.
Professor Oak.
Oh, geez. I mean, your deck right now is showing all of the toxicity of base set Pokemon.
Absolutely. And now, because we've got Doduo on the field here, Doduo is nutty because it basically just bypasses these resistances. Same thing with Farfetch'd. In fact, I think I'm actually going to try for Farfetch'd here. So we're going to hit Scoop Up with Hitmonchan, and we're going to promote our... Farfetch, put this down, and hopefully Leak Slap gets that 30. No, it does not.
Okay.
Leak Slap is weird, too, because you can only use it once while Farfetch'd is in the active spot. So I'm going to have to be able to retreat and then go into Doduo next turn.
Yeah, even putting Farfetch'd on the bench won't let you use it again. That's what that attack says. So it doesn't even...
Symptoms of a Yu-Gi-Oh player, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot read my cards.
Wow. All this time I've never read Leak Slap, and that is definitely what it does. Yeah, so you'd have to scoop up net it and put it back down again, and it gives you that shot at a quick 30 damage, which can be really good early game. Like, you know, if you have like a couple plus powers in your hand, you could just win on turn 1 with a Leak Slap coin flip.
Yeah, it sucks to put a win on a coin flip like that, but you may as well. If you can win the game, it's a 50-50. Not that it matters, though, because I drew double colorless energy for turn.
Okay, and pot smashes are coming in now. Alrighty, we're gonna have to do something about those. Might just be sacking this Zapdos, actually. I'm gonna bench another Zapdos and research. On a bench Voltorb, I'm going to attach to Zapdos. I'm going to use my own energy removal. It feels really good getting rid of a DC.
Yeah, getting rid of that double colorless is definitely like one of the best things that you want to do here.
Yeah. And then end turn. We're just going to leave that Zapdos up there soaking some damage, hopefully.
It's not going to be soaking up too much damage because we're going to be attaching here and retreating into Hitmonchan because you know the best card is coming down, and that's Gust of Wind, baby.
For the Voltorb again.
For the Voltorb. We cannot let those come down. Buzz Zap is just too fast for this. Like, it's not terribly fast, but the fact that you can get 3 energy attachments basically makes both of those Zapdos already capable of using Thunder. And Thunder KOs just about everything on my board except for Hitmonchan, which you can just Thunderbolt if you want to, but...
So I'm just going to attach to Zapdos and hope I make you whittle down this active Zapdos. That's going to be my plan here.
I'm thinking about it, that's for sure. We're going to attach a Lightning Energy here to Doduo. And since we've got 2 energy retreat costs, I'm just going to have to pass turn here. I'm still happy, though, because we're up 6... you're up... I can't speak. We're up with 2 prizes compared to your 6, so even if you get a KO here, I just have to slap down Farfetch'd or Doduo and lay in a couple more times.
We're going to attach to Zapdos on the bench again, and From there, just pass.
All right, and that's the card that I wanted to see. It's the first appearance of Electabuzz. About time we finally see one of those, and we're gonna have to start going towards Doduo here, because if we don't, we are gonna get boned. So we're gonna go ahead and pay this double cost and Fury attack, and we get 2 heads. That's not too bad.
Oh, the double heads on that. Okay.
Two more turns of double heads, and we got ourselves our second to last prize card.
I'm gonna go ahead and build to draw 2 cards, which is a little risky because I'm getting down to a thin deck. We've got 8 cards left in the deck.
6 prizes, 8 cards. You're gonna have to take 1-shots for 6 out of those 8 turns, and I don't know if you can.
Yeah, we might have ran a little low on resources here. Maybe.
Especially because of the fact that Haymaker, you've got a bunch of 70 HP attackers, and they play Chansey, so you can't even attack with Thunderbolt and get that KO unless you have double plus power.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and attach to the bench Zapdos and pass it on over.
Alright, this is my opportunity to start setting up other Pokemon too, so we're going to go ahead and Energy Retrieval, tossing out this Hitmonchan, and we're going to grab 2 Lightning Energy here. We're going to attach one to Electabuzz and hope for another double heads, and we get it. That is 4 heads in a row.
Okay, another double heads. We're going to bench this Zapdos and attach, and pass.
Alright, well now I don't feel the pressure of decking out before you, so we're gonna go with a Bill there. There's a little bit of a weird thing to do here, like I want to KO your Zapdos, but at the same time I'd rather just let you wait here. But the fact that you're already also attaching to the other one is a little bit scary. I think we're gonna Gust of Wind the one that is just getting attachments, and we're gonna go ahead and attach a Fighting Energy to Electabuzz and get this free retreat cost over to our Electabuzz, which will then be able to hit Thunder Punch for 40 damage.
All right, that's a nice chunk.
That's a fifth heads in a row, ladies and gentlemen.
I wasn't even keeping count. We're gonna go ahead and attach active, and and then just pass.
It's a little weird because I want to charge up Farfetch'd, but at the same time, I'm not sure if it's smart. But you know, screw it. Let's do it. I've also got Energy Retrieval, so I'm going to pitch a second Farfetch'd, and we're going to grab back 2 of our Fighting Energy. We're just going to go for Thunder Punch again. We finally get a Tails here. We did hit ourselves.
Tails not getting knocked out this time.
Yeah, which does put you in range for hitting me with Thunder, but at the same time, you have less cards in deck than you have prizes, so you're basically guaranteed to lose.
Yeah, at this point, I'm trying to remember my exact list. I'm not bringing it up right now, but I'm just gonna pass. I'm trying to remember what resources I have. I'm playing the really huge resource management game here, trying not to run out of too many things.
Right.
So there's a knockout. And
there's the Chansey I finally found.
Yeah, I've got. Okay, I do have one of the cards I was hoping I had left in the deck. So we're gonna go ahead and attach Defender. And then you already have 20 damage on you because you damaged yourself, so that's good. So I can just Thunder and knock you out.
Yeah, and I think I'm just going to sit here with the Chansey because you can't one-shot that thing, and that seems pretty good to me. We're going to attach to Farfetch'd here, and we're just going to pass.
Yeah, I've got some plans here. So I don't think... Yeah, I have 3 cards left in the deck, but we've got some stuff to work with. I'm going to attach the Defender just to stop myself from damaging myself, because Defender does work that way with Zapdos' Thunder.
Yeah, Defender is such an interesting card in that way, because you can prevent yourself from getting hit. Now, I'm not exactly sure if I want to let you take another prize, even though it doesn't matter, so I'm just going to Energy Removal, you know? It's always a fun... Oh, alright, well, I guess the game...
Oh, no!
I clicked on the first one, the one that was in front instead of the back. I guess that was incorrect.
Oh, the misclick.
I think we're just gonna Oak here for fun, and you know what? We can Bill here. We can go down to 6 cards in deck. That's fun.
6 cards.
We'll throw down an Electabuzz. We'll attach an Energy here, and we'll scoop up this Chansey, and we'll go into the Electabuzz here. We'll throw down the Chansey again. We're going to activate Energy Retrieval, pitching a last to add back both a Lightning and a Fighting, and then just end on last here. Oh.
Okay.
Well, that just... I think that gets rid of your entire hand.
Yep.
Hand looping for 6.
Yeah, my plan was to play last so I don't deck out, but you did it for me. Tails on your Thunder
it
Shock, so I'm
shuffles.
not
I
paralyzed.
thought it discarded.
No, it shuffles. It shuffles, man.
Now I have to get now I have to get that KO, or else I'm screwed.
Yeah, now I'm the one with the larger deck.
How have I done this to myself?
Although I am the one with the larger deck now, I also don't have plus powers in my hand like I used to.
Right. Yeah, so, you either Thunderbolt for the one-shot here, or Thunder, and don't get the KO, and then risk me going into, like, Farfetch for a pot smash and pick up another 30 damage.
We're gonna play it risky. I'm gonna go Thunder and hope I don't flip Tails, because if I Thunderbolt and knock you out, that's great, but I'm down 4 energy. And if I do nothing, I'm just giving you tempo, and you're gonna smack me for 30 anyway, so we're gonna go Thunder. Alright, we flipped heads, got 60 free damage in on Electabuzz.
We're gonna attach a DCE here to Chansey, because we need to get that up, and we do not get the heads on Thundershock, so...
Oh, that's so good for me. We're gonna last.
Well,
okay, you only have basic in your hand.
That's unfortunate. I think I do have another last or something in my deck. I'm gonna have to hope to God I do.
So I'm gonna go for the knockout here. You don't have DCE in your hand, so I'm gonna hope you don't top deck it.
We did not top deck it, but I am gonna pot smash here.
Okay.
This is an easy KO with Thunder, but you are also risking a double heads with Doduo. I think I actually just did a turn without attaching an energy, which is...
Oh, no. Yeah, you could have guaranteed win with Chansey if you whiffed attachment. Yeah, I'll just go ahead for the Thunder.
We're going to promote Doduo because
myself.
we've got that free retreat. We're going to throw down this Electabuzz, and we're going to attach a Lightning Energy to it. Will Fury attack? Almost there. I think I'm still in the best position, though, because even if you KO the Doduo... I can promote the Electabuzz. If you have Gust of Wind, you can bring up the Electabuzz, KO it with Thunderbolt. With Thunderbolt, but I can promote back the Doduo and hope for a single heads. You're in a rough spot.
Yeah, I have an idea. Okay, so I'm gonna Item Finder and discard Doduo and Professor Oak.
Oh, you don't want to activate Professor Oak in this state?
No, I think I'm okay. I'll go ahead and grab Defender, and we'll attach Defender active. I'll energy removal your double colorless energy.
Okay.
Oh, you'll just win with Thunder Punch.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
We'll promote that. We'll energy removal out of Spite, and we'll attach a fighting energy and pick up that KO with Thunder Punch.
GG, man.
GG. And that was only game 1. What a freaking game 1, dude.
Okay, so we're going into game 2, Chaotic Meatball 1, game 1, and I'm gonna try to know what all of my cards do this game.
I'm gonna try
look for minimal misplays.
We're gonna try to read our cards before we play them this time. I think we're in a good position starting off.
Yeah, so I started with the free retreat Doduo, which I really love starting with that. That's great. Couple Zapdos in my hand. I bill into Lightning Energy. That's beautiful. That's what I wanted. And you know what? We're gonna try to go a little aggressive with old Doduo here.
All right. I respect it.
See what the hubbub's all about with Doduo. We'll go ahead and attack. And it's Tails. Come on.
The hubbub doesn't exist for you.
Never again.
I'm gonna just attach a fighting energy here. There's no way for me to do damage.
I'm gonna attach another lightning to Zapdos. I would love to say that I'm taking a more passive approach and not benching Voltorbs this game, but I just don't have good cards.
Yeah, you kind of
I just don't have cards to play.
Oh,
I would love to say that I'm being strategic, but I just have a bad hand.
That is understandable.
But I'm going to be the first one to drop an energy removal this game, and that's sweet.
Okay, fine.
And we'll Fury attack, and it's Tails and Heads this time. We do get 10 damage in.
Alright, well, we're going to throw down a Hitmonchan, and we're going to energy removal that Zapdos, because no. We're going to attach a Lightning Energy to Hitmonchan, because that second attack has a colorless discard cost, or colorless attack cost. I don't know what else to do other than pass.
All right, well, I'm going to attach another Lightning to Zapdos. Hope that one sticks around, and Fury Attack it is. Heads and tails.
Pass. I can't do anything with that top deck.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Attach to Zapdos again and keep on attacking. Keep on keeping on with little Doduo.
We will edit super energy removal here to get rid of those two. And then we will energy retrieval. We'll get rid of a Professor Oak and we'll add back both. And since I don't want to attach to my damaged Hitmonchan, I'm just going to leave it stranded in the active for now. And we're going to pass.
Yeah. The good old days of just leaving a Pokemon out there to take some hits while you attach energy to a benched Pokemon. I remember it fondly.
Yeah, we don't really get to do that much because nowadays we have bosses' orders that we could just bring up what we want. We can deny opponents whatever we think we can do. So it's a little bit disgusting, to be fair.
Yeah, much more aggressive game today, but I think most card games kind of go that way. They get more aggressive, more toxic as time goes on. But not to say base set isn't toxic.
Absolutely.
We've got energy removals everywhere. We've got super energy removals. Who thought they needed 2 different kinds of energy removal in the first set?
I have no clue. And who said that last was allowed? Like, come on, dude. So
Hitmonchan's barely hanging on.
I might have to let go of a prize here just because I cannot get for the life of me a non-fighting type Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna slap down a third Hitmonchan.
Oh.
And now I could do something dumb, and I think I'm gonna do something dumb because I'm gonna deny you a prize for now.
Okay.
I'm gonna Gust of Wind and I'm gonna pass.
All right. Now what if I undid your something dumb and had Scoop Up Net ready to go?
Okay. Well, unfortunate. Probably should have done that when you had an energy on, so that you would at least have to discard one of those.
Yeah, learning the strategy as we go. So we're gonna Scoop Up Net that Zap, put it back on the bench. Fury Attack.
Double tails, come on, baby.
Oh, we got double heads.
We'll go ahead and promote the current Hitmonchan, and there we go. We finally got the second fighting energy. We can start going for Special Punch for 10 damage.
I think it's so funny that this Doduo is just sitting out here trucking damage, taking prize cards. That's something that, again, we're talking about things that couldn't happen in today's game. This could not happen in today's game.
You would have to purposely agree with your opponent, hey, we're not allowed to play double prize Pokemon or else you're a cheater. I see you're finally getting those Voltorbs down.
Yeah. We're going to do that, and then you know what? We're going to Gust of Wind the Hitmonchan without energy on it, and Double Heads Fury Attack. Let's go.
All right, we finally found the Electabuzz. That's at least decent.
Yeah, and Doduo's weak to that one.
So I am going to be a little bit of a weenie, and I'm going to Item Finder away my DCE and my Energy Retrieval. I think we're actually, no, I remember what we're going to do. We're going to Gust of Wind so that we can deny Voltorb, and the last card in hand was Professor Oak.
Okay, sick.
Okay, there's those. Still searching. Nope, that's not it. That's unfortunate.
Looking for those fighting energies.
I am looking for a single fighting energy that I did not find. All right, pass turn.
Good for me. Good for me. Okay, I like this. So,
yeah, because now you can evolve. You can pop your Electrode. You can attach to Zapdos and have 3 energy ready. I think I missed the opportunity to attach to one of those Electabuzzes, but you know, when you're so focused on one game plan, sometimes game plan number 2 and 3 don't exactly come to mind.
Yeah, you get tunnel visioned on the fighting energy. You forgot lightning energy exists.
Well,
I will give you a prize card. Maybe it's a fighting energy.
That might help.
Oh no! Okay, now I misclicked. It was asking me what Pokemon to send up and not what Pokemon to attach energy to.
Oh, I feel that.
Oh man, okay, well, Zapdos has energy now, but he's stuck in the active. Oh, Zapdos. No. Okay, end turn.
Alright, well, I'm gonna attach to Electabuzz, and I'm a pass.
So it seems we've reached a stalemate.
We have indeed reached a stalemate. I have gotten my army of attackers, but you're definitely staying here. Alright, so Voltorb is down. That's a little bit worrisome. I'm going to attach this one to this Electabuzz. I still can't find another fighting energy. I think I'm going to have to pass turn again.
Okie doke. Oh, interesting hand. Can I attach more than one defender?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to attach a defender to Zapdos.
I think they get rid of...
to Zapdos.
Yeah, I think they go away at the end of your opponent's next turn.
A plus power. I'm going to bench 2 Zapdos and then Professor Oak. I top decked Professor Oak.
Oh
and
my.
I had so many cards in my hand.
We are in a weird position now. Holy moly.
Alright, gonna evolve the Electrode. Yeah, I was holding all those Zapdoses in my hand. I didn't want to have extra Gust of Wind targets on my bench.
That makes sense.
So we're gonna evolve the Electrode and Bazap over to Bazapdos. And this time I'm not sending up a Pokemon.
There is a 4 energy Zapdos on the board, and either you discard or you Thunder. Oh, wait, you have plus power, so never mind.
You have 20 damage
and
on
I
me
have
too, so
20
we're all
damage
good to
on
go.
me, so yeah.
Make it a 5 energy. We're preparing ahead of time for energy removal. And then, speaking of energy removal, we're going to remove 1 energy from your Electabuzz.
Disgusting. How dare you, good sir.
Look at the Zapdos. Just looking at my screen, the Zapdos has 2 Electrodes attached to it, a plus power, and 2 defenders.
What a... it's like Xyz monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in 1999. You have, like... 15,972 materials. Alright, so we're going to go Electabuzz here because we've got the super energy removal, and we're going to take off a lightning energy, and we're going to detach both electrodes, and then we have energy removal.
Oh, no!
That was the nastiest turn I've ever seen in my life. Now we're going to attach a lightning energy. I am going to energy retrieval. I'm going to pitch a DCE. This isn't really helpful right now. And I'll grab back both my lightnings. And we're just going to Thunder Punch here, which does nothing, and I did 10 damage to myself. Could have been avoided.
So
now I'm in range of Thunder.
So this is kind of something I think I would do if I was like a base set only pro. Last turn I could have computer searched for last to empty your hand, so I could guarantee you don't have energy removals. But I was like, oh, there's nothing I need to computer search for. I've drawn some cards, I've attached some energy. There's nothing in the deck I need.
Last is just broken. Like if you can end on a 4 or 5 energy Zapdos and last at the end of your combo, like, you're just going to annihilate your opponent, because they have to top deck out while you pick up 1 shot after 1 shot. Well, in the face of Haymaker, you're doing 2 shots, but, you know.
Yeah, so I could have done some dirty stuff there. I'm going to go ahead and computer search away.
So you are going for the computer search, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to computer search now and get rid of Full Heal and Defender.
You're playing Full Heal.
And get Voltorb. Yeah, I don't know why this list plays Full Heal, but it was in the list, so...
That is certainly a weird one, I would say.
Yeah.
So.
It would work if you got heads on Paralysis. I could go ahead and item find it, heal the Paralysis, attack.
That's true. I mean, it does help in the face of, like, the Electabuzz matchup. Alright, so you've got the Voltorb on the board, which is kind of unfortunate for me. But I am going to attach an energy to Electabuzz here. I think we're going to take our luck here. We're going to plus power. I think we can just go ahead and Thunder Punch here for... Ooh.
Okay.
Got that 50 damage.
Nice.
So if we can get another heads, we can grab this KO on the Zapdos.
So I'm going to go ahead and energy removal from your active. I'm going to right click to make sure I'm looking at the right Pokemon. I am. So we're going to remove an energy from your active, and then I'll just pass.
Alright, well, that's unfortunate for you because I just have the lightning to scoop that back on there. And I think we're just going to go for the Thunder Punch. And there we go. We did get the heads.
Okay. We're going to send out Doduo since it has free retreat.
Makes sense. Though it does have the lightning weakness, which is a bit risky, but if you do end up retreating here, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It always just makes sense to always promote the free retreater, because you can go into whatever you want on your turn instead of between turns where you're like, no, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go and bill for some more cards and bill for some more cards. And evolve the Electrode, and then we're going to Bazap.
Alright, that is another prize for me.
Another prize for you. You're down to 2 now. Attach to Zapdos.
Ah.
Okay.
Well, that is definitely a thunder waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna item finder away 2 Pokemon traders. I'm gonna get energy removal and remove energy from your 1 energy Electabuzz.
Makes sense. Definitely the play here.
And then I'll Lass.
Okay.
So I
had a feeling you would have it.
I could have item findered for like a defender or something, but I figured if I'm Lassing you, I'm not incredibly worried about my Zapdos getting hit, especially since I also energy removaled you, and I'd rather shuffle those item finders in to have for later on in the game.
Right, and it makes sense. I mean, Lass is broken, being able to just shuffle those things away.
Mm-hmm. I am getting so lucky on the Thunder Flips.
We're going to go ahead and go to Electabuzz, attach, and get Tails on the Thunder Shock. I was really hoping to get a Heads there. Being able to be defending against these close KOs would be kind of nice in the face of trying to top deck out of this last. Mm-hmm. But I can smell that this game is much closer than I initially intended. Yeah,
your nose is definitely on point there. I'm going to item finder for a plus power and play it, and then Thunder.
All right, and then
so I do flip Tails that time, though.
All right, so Hitmonchan. Ooh. I'm going to throw down Doduo, and we're going to attach here and Special Punch for 10 damage.
Okay. Oh, I have 11 cards in the deck. I think we attach plus power and Oak for 7 of those 11 cards.
Then you can just Thunder and Thunderbolt, and that's your last 2. And
yeah.
I don't think I can get out of this unless I top deck something and Thunder Shock ends up pulling through.
Yeah. I attached energy just to kind of proof myself from super energy removals. And then I'm going to computer search away Lass and Electrode. Get a defender, but I'm all out of defenders. So
Is there even any targets?
I'll get an item finder.
Okay,
but
that's a target.
Do I want to discard? No, I don't think I want to. So I could Lass, but you only have 2 cards, and I have an item finder in my hand to help for next turn. So I'm just going to Thunder here, and I'll... Oh, wait, no. If I take the hit, I'll get knocked out, so I think I have to item finder. Yeah, I have to item finder here.
Yeah, you have to item finder for the defender.
So we'll get rid of Oak and Lass.
Good check on the potential death there.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and drop that and Thunder. And I got Heads anyway.
We will promote the Doduo here. And we got Bill, which is good. Oh, thank you. Professor Oak. Alright, so we're going to have to go crazy here. I'm going to energy removal this Zapdos specifically. We're going to get rid of the Electrode. I'm going to Bill again. I'm going to item finder away this Diglett and this Lass, and we're going to grab... I think I just have to grab the super energy removal and hope that you can't get out of this.
Yep.
Because we'll attach the Doduo, we'll super energy removal away 2 of these, and we will retreat into Electabuzz, and to mitigate the potential gust of wind, we're going to scoop up this Doduo. Got 2. We just have to survive 2 turns.
I can't remember exactly what's in my deck, but I don't think it's more energy. Let's look.
No energy retrievals either?
Oh, I'm down all 4 Electrodes. My energy retrievals are gone. I think all of my item finder are gone. Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3. Yep, all of item finders are gone.
Did I literally just top deck my way out of this game?
Yeah, I think you might have.
And there's the lightning energy top deck. Thunder Shock. Can we get a paralysis? No, we cannot.
Okay. So that's... I don't remember what that last card is. So
if I can find 1 energy, I think I've sealed the deal.
Yeah, so I attach energy here. Now I can retreat, but I'd be retreating into a Doduo to do.
You can retreat into the other Zapdos.
Right, but then I just deck out.
Yeah, then you just deck out. Right?
Yeah, so I can maybe do 20 damage to you. But if you get the extra energy, you knock out Doduo as well. So I just pass. If you don't have energy, I see if the last card in my deck was energy.
We're gonna plus power.
Okay.
And we're gonna hit Thunder Shock. No,
okay.
No, not another Tails.
Oh man, well the last card is not energy. It is. We've got Voltorb. We've got plus power. We have Professor Oak.
Oh man,
And,
I was really hoping.
I'll retreat the Doduo for the final attack, Fury attack, and I have 0 cards in my deck.
All right, well we're just gonna bench everything and have some fun. We're gonna
I'll scoop
okay.
up that last everything.
Nothing in hand, Thundershock, and
Nice.
that's the game. That is, whew, that was a set. That was only 2 games, and that almost ran. What? We're up to like 50 minutes in recording, but that was an amazing set.
Yeah,
like,
game 2 was back and forth. Game 2 was really exciting.
Yeah, because like we finally showed like how fast Buzz Zapdos can get set up in the face of even Haymaker, which is the fastest deck of the format, because of being able to lay down Voltorbs and get those energies on from Electrode onto Zapdos. It's just this deck dies in the face of energy removal and super energy removal, especially because of the fact that those energies, despite being 2, are considered only 1 card. So an energy removal can get rid of 2. That's also the problem with like double colorless energy. Despite them being able to supercharge attacks, you're kind of in the face of just, you're not going to be able to out-tempo your opponent if they keep getting those energy removals. And that's why decks like Rain Dance Blastoise, which I'm sure we'll end up seeing a little bit later on in this series, were able to just continually attach separate energy cards more than once per turn, and that's why that, as an evolution-based, like, high-energy investment deck, ended up working.
Well, I never played against base set Haymaker without the Scyther involved, which comes out in a later set. And I never piloted Buzz Zapdos, played this matchup, so it was really exciting. The energy removal and super energy removals, the item finders, it feels like we both have a handle on like our discard pile and our decks. We can really do a lot of things, and we just have to decide how to do it. There was that one point in game 2 where I forgot that I could lash you to remove your hand and basically let my Zapdos be free of potential energy removal unless you top decked into something, and then I forgot about that and then did it later in the game, but it still wasn't enough. You got that bill into Professor Oak into everything you needed.
Yeah, and I was worried about that Professor Oak because I was pitching 3 fighting energy. Like, that's a lot of resources that I can use over the course of a couple turns, but when that's the only play I can really make to draw out of such a deep game state, you kind of just have to go for it. So, and that's what happened, and here we are, like, going to deck out with 1 prize remaining. That's just how these games go. If you don't manage your resources correctly and know the list like the back of your hand, you are probably going to get, like, you're going to deck out, and you're going to deck out often. I said it in the initial, I think the deck list portion of the video, I don't remember, but yeah, that was exactly what I said. You will deck out, and you'll deck out often, and that's just old formats for you.
Yeah, I think something fun about this series is going to be, like you said, if you don't know the deck list like the back of your hand, well, when we're going to be jumping through every set of the Pokemon trading card game through the history of all of it, we're probably going to know the deck like the side of our hand with our glasses half on a lot of the time. So it'll make for some funny moments, some misplays, some, do I have a 4th copy of that? Because I was definitely doing a lot of that. I'm used to knowing my deck inside and out in the competitive standard format, but going back to this, we were looking at 6 different decks. I'm like, oh, do I play 3 item finder or 4? Do I play a 4/4 line of the electrodes, you know? So it makes for some more fun gameplay for sure.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's basically it for base set. There are a couple more decks on the wheel, but we're going to see that they are going to be continued on into the next set, Jungle, which is going to give a lot of different decks a boost. Like Haymaker's going to get that Scyther, like you said earlier, but a lot of other decks are going to emerge out of the set. And even though it's only 60 cards, we're going to have a lot more decks on the wheel next time. And I think that we might actually sit 2 episodes in Jungle, because let's be honest, base set format lasted for 6 months. This came out in January of 1997, and Jungle didn't come out until June.
Yeah, and that was the Japan releases, I believe?
That was the North American release,
January
it was, 99.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
No, the Japan releases were a little bit more condensed, a little bit less space between the sets so that there was a little bit more freshness to the metagame. But in America, it didn't seem like Wizards of the Coast knew their exact schedule of releasing sets at that point.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited to get into Jungle in the next episode as well. That should be fun. We're getting some, like you said, new additions for decks and completely new decks as well.
Yep. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to Beastcoast Pokemon, as well as our individual channels. Links will probably be in the description, or you'll find us in the comments. And we will see you guys next time for Jungle.